Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing all the weapons inside of Modern Warfare 3 to see how valuable these weapons are for us to be using inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you like everything Call of Duty Zombies, make sure you are subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so you're not going to miss out any future uploads from myself. As well, down below in the description you will find the link for my streams, and I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I stream a ton of custom zombies and zombie related games and just generally have a ton of fun over there and love to see you guys come and hang out. Before we get into anything today, I do want to mention just how close we are getting to our very next Black Ops 6 giveaway at 4,000 subscribers. So currently we are less than 250 to go and we'll be able to do our next Black Ops 6 giveaway. So I'm super excited for that, and again, make sure if you're not subscribed you do so you have a chance to get in on the Black Ops 6 giveaway. Now in today's video is something I'm super excited to bring to you guys today, as we're going to be using an LMG, and I truly enjoy using LMGs as they have an absolute ton of ammo. So today we're going to have a look at the TAQ EVOLVERE from MW3, and we're going to be taking that through all three tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through to see just how viable this weapon is to be using inside of zombies. Hopefully by the end of today's video you have a good feel for how the weapon performs inside of zombies and whether or not it's a viable option for you to be using inside of your zombies game mode. So without further ado, let's get to the TAQ EVOLVERE review video today. Alright, welcome into today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be looking at an LMG today. So when we spawn in and do the weapon testing videos, I spawn in and I put on all of my perks with no additions to the weapon. So no pack-a-punch, no ammo mod, and no tools to the weapon to add any damage to it. I do play on mouse and keyboard, so I do run Deadshot Daiquiri as I like the extra critical damage it provides. And the one extra I brought in for today's run was golden armor plates. Jeez, that was a real struggle to get out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is head off and grab ourselves our bounty contract inside of tier 1 and take this on at white rarity, like I said, with absolutely no additions to the weapon at all whatsoever. So we made it over to grab our first bounty contract of the day, and we got ourselves our Mangler, which is the first one we're going to be taking on at white rarity with this LMG. And I could already tell, like, immediately a couple shots in, just how viable this is going to be for us to be using. I was really impressed with just how strong this was just at base with no additions to the weapon whatsoever. I was already feeling extremely confident taking on our first bounty contract inside of tier 1. Took out the cannon there without much of a struggle at all, and you can see just how, you know, with ease we got rid of our first bounty contract of the day. We got a self-revive out of that, which was nice. So the next thing I was wanting to do was go straight to Pack-a-Punch and increase the damage output on this LMG, and then grab another bounty contract inside of tier 1, continuing to keep it out white rarity with no ammo mods and no tools on the weapon inside of tier 1, only at Pack-a-Punch. Seeing how it performed against our first bounty contract, I was really excited to get, you know, to our second one, and so we went and picked up the bounty. It was a Mimic. So let's head over and see how this performs against our Mimic bounty, now only pack-a-punched at white rarity. And you can see the difference the critical shots we're making to the health bar on this Mimic bounty already, just by increasing the damage by visiting the pack-a-punch machine. So I was thoroughly impressed. Like, that was absolutely awesome to see. We just wrecked that Mimic inside of tier 1. It wasn't much of a struggle at all. So at this point I was kind of really excited to get through into some of the higher threat levels and see what this weapon can do. But before I do that, I wanted to go and throw on my legendary and Shatter Blast. We're now pack 1 legendary Shatter Blast inside of tier 1. So I'm expecting this bounty contract to be virtually an instant delete. See it and wipe it out. And I was not disappointed at all. That Mimic did not stand a chance. Just absolutely evaporated at the end of my barrel. So at this point, it was time to check the loot, which was nothing exciting, and then head straight into tier 2 to grab ourselves a bounty contract, but maintaining the damage output we have on this LMG and not increasing it at all before we engage with this bounty contract inside of tier 2. So we got a Mimic, and I wanted to take this on, like I said, we're pack 1 legendary with Shatter Blast inside of tier 2. So I wanted to see how this LMG performs inside of tier 2 at pack 1 with legendary against a bounty contract, and you can see the critical damage coming off of our Mimic on its health bar is definitely substantial damage inside of tier 2 on a bounty, being only pack 1. I was impressed. I was really impressed with the damage output on this LMG, what I was seeing so far through this match, and it had me feeling really confident kind of pushing forward to see what this could do, you know, as we increase the damage and move into the higher threat levels. So the next thing I wanted to do was go off and visit Pack-a-Punch and again increase the damage output on this LMG to Pack-a-Punch level 2 with legendary and shatter blast, and then go and grab ourselves our last bounty contract inside of tier 2 and see how well this LMG performs against it, as our last bounty inside of tier 1 was virtually an instant delete. So I was expecting very similar results here in pack 2, or in tier 2, sorry. However, it was a disciple, so I wasn't expecting to be as quick as tier 1 in the disciple will heal. But having said that, holy, the damage I was able to dish out to this disciple bounty contract inside of tier 2 being pack 2 was just astronomical. I had no issues taking on that bounty contract, no concerns at all whatsoever. I felt really strong and really confident at this point. So the last thing to do is to venture off into tier 3. I was missing a few perks, so it was time to stop at the Wonder Fizz machine and grab the rest of our perks before wandering around inside of tier 3 and seeing what this LMG is capable of doing against tier 3 zombies, bounties, and HVTs. So we grabbed the rest of our perks, which I love to do when we get inside of tier 3, so I'm now running all perks, which is awesome. And then, you know, I hadn't put on my PAP 3 crystal yet. I went to see the first ritual and it was gone, so I had a feeling that most of the rituals were gone. Now here we are inside of tier 3. We are pack 2 legendary with Shatter Blast, and I was impressed with crowd control at pack 2 inside of tier 3 with this. Like, holy smokes, it was definitely holding its own inside of tier 3 at Pack-a-Punch Pack-a-Punch 2. So definitely, I feel a viable option that you could be running inside of tier 3 at pack 2, being legendary or epic. I feel like if you come in at pack 2 blue, you're going to be a bit of a bullet sponge. So you definitely want to be epic or legendary on this inside of tier 3 and minimum of pack 2, I feel, just to make things easier. But you can see here at pack 2 doing crowd control. I wanted to show you guys with a large horde of zombies. So the downside you saw right there is, of course, when you're ADS with an LMG, you do move a lot slower. So I feel like down in the comments section, we might be able to come up with a build based on movement speed for this LMG to really help us out inside of our zombies game modes. But I do feel like this weapon as a whole definitely dishes out the damage inside of tier 3. We've got armored zombies coming at us, we've got sprinters, we've got standard zombies, and you can see just how easy work this LMG takes care of absolutely all of it in front of us. And we are only pack 2 inside of tier 3, so definitely a viable option. I did check out some tax stances, not bad with that. I don't use a lot of tax stance in my games. And then our turn zombie went on a rampage right here and took out so many zombies. It was awesome. So we cleared out all of that, which was amazing. So the last thing I wanted to do now was to go ahead and throw on our PAP 3 crystal that I bring in with me every single match. And then, well, now that we are triple pack-a-punched at max damage output, I wanted to go on and visit our good friend Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches. And I tell you, this weapon does not disappoint. The amount of dogs inside of tier 3 today, holy smokes. I was blown away just how many dogs are around inside of tier 3. There we are taking shots at Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches at range, and we've already taken off one of Zhorde's head right there. I see my game lagged a little bit there. I was definitely a little concerned. I feel like we all have experienced some lag and some connectivity and some stability issues inside of our zombies games and inside of MW3 in general recently. So hopefully with Season 5 right around the corner, that they've got a stability patch coming for us along with all of the Season 5 content. So I'm really looking forward to Season 5. Let me know what you guys think about Season 5, if you're excited for it or not. I know we don't have any zombies content on Season 5 drop, but there is content for zombies on Season 5 Reloaded, which is going to be really exciting to check that out. Now, Zhorde here was definitely in a roaming mood. He certainly wasn't sticking around. He was running all over the place by his archers, trying really hard to, you know, keep me under control. But Zhorde, it doesn't work that way. We control you, Zhorde. This is how this works. You've known this for months now. You should be paying attention to these things. So here we are. I was trying to thin out some of the riffraff before re-engaging with Zhorde to be able to show you guys the damage that you can do. I mean, Zhorde is already past halfway health, and he's fired up one laser attack at us. It's been, this LMG fires incredible damage. I wasn't sure what Zhorde was doing here because he like wouldn't track towards me. It was really strange. I hadn't seen Zhorde behave like this in a long time. I'm not sure what was going on, but it was like he didn't even recognize that I was here. And then when I fired this way, he understood what was going on. And so we engaged and fired up. Zhorde's laser attack did not last very long right there. And then I was feeling confident that I wanted to take on Zhorde and kind of just barrel stuff him at the end. But then I noticed that he had a little bit more health than kind of I anticipated, and he started to chomp on me, which was no bueno. So remembering the strategy to get your Mega Abominations to fire up their laser attacks at you so that you can, you know, complete your contracts. I remembered verticality is a key, so we just dropped down below Zhorde, and sure enough, he fired up his laser attack right away, and we were able to finish off Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches, inside of Tier 3 without much struggle with this LMG. So, you know, HVTs, Mega Abominations, just a standard one, not a bounty. Definitely a viable option with this LMG inside of Tier 3. Then I wanted to show you guys some crowd control at, you know, max damage output inside of Tier 3. How does it handle it? And the end of the barrel is like a hot knife through butter shooting the zombies with this LMG. Plus, Pack-a-Punch with the build that I have for you guys today, it leaves you with 400 rounds in your magazine and 1,000 in reserve. So you have 1,400 rounds of ammunition with this LMG. It's definitely not going to be struggling for ammo using this at all. I never once had an issue with that in this match. I don't even think, honestly, my reserve dropped below 500 once in this run. So you won't have an issue with ammo using this LMG and the build that I have for you today. It's definitely something that I was happy to see. Like, this kept the ammo up. I was never in an issue where I was out of ammo and had to dip out and go find an ammo cache to get reloaded. I was definitely not having a struggle with that. And we picked up another bounty contract inside of Tier 3, and here I am. I was trying to find us a Mega Abomination bounty contract. Like, those are the ones I like to show you guys. But we weren't able to get one today. We got a Mangler, but I wanted to show you just how viable this is inside of Tier 3, dealing with a Mangler bounty contract. Like, I was not concerned at all. Again, the dogs inside of Tier 3 today was just endless. But the damage this LMG is able to dish out to bounty contracts inside of Tier 3 is truly remarkable. I was feeling so confident engaging in our bounty contractor here with this Mangler. I wasn't really concerned about anything at all. Got a lucky nuke right there to help clear out some of the riffraff and deal a little bit of damage to our bounty, and then we finished him off right there. So definitely easy work inside of Tier 3 with this LMG. I was certainly feeling super confident in all situations using this. I will say, like, it's an LMG, so you have that movement hindrance. Like, it's definitely slower to be used when you got it out and you're running around. Typically when I'm playing zombies, I'm running one weapon or a scorcher for travel purposes. So it's not so much of an issue. Just pull out, you know, your fist and get yourself moving. But if you're running two weapons, you would definitely notice that you are a lot slower in your movement speed when you have the LMG equipped and out. That's for sure. Just a heads up on that. But with the ammo count on here and the damage that you were able to dish out, this is definitely a viable option. I feel like if you can, you know, separate yourself from the zombies, from the herd, from the bounty, whatever it is you're chasing, as you see me do here in the footage, trying to keep some distance so that I can turn around and take out what's coming towards me. As like I said, you do have that movement speed hindrance, and that is an LMG, so it's a heavy weapon and you move accordingly a little bit slower. But again, with all that being said, this is such a viable option. Having that much ammo to constantly fire at enemies inside of Tier 3 or Tier 2 or any threat level for that matter is definitely huge. You know, it helps you clear out the hordes, keep things under control. and you're just not going to struggle with ammo. And this damage output on this LMG, like I've shown you, is really, really strong. So definitely something I feel that is a viable option for all of us to be using inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, and something that I think is something might surprise a few of you who don't necessarily lean towards LMGs when you're playing. You may like the movement speed of pistols and SMGs and some of the assault rifles, but definitely I feel like give this a shot. You'll be pretty impressed with definitely how well it handles all situations inside of Zombies. You can see right here, not having much of an issue dealing with any of the crowd control at all. Like, I was feeling so comfortable using this. I didn't feel just any really struggles using this weapon, so definitely something that is awesome to see. And one of the things, like I said, I really do enjoy about you know, Zombies and MW3 is that we have so many different weapons to use inside of our game modes that are viable options. So if you are a player who tends to like pistols and SMG for the movement, you know, there's weapons in those categories that are going to be a viable option for you to be using inside of the game. You know, if you like snipers and you like marksmans and battle rifles and single fire weapons, there's definitely options inside of those categories as well that are going to be viable for you to be using. And if you like, you know, your assault rifles and your SMGs, those work as well. The melee weapons aren't bad. They can be a viable option for us to use too. So it's one of the things that I really enjoy in this game. And I hope that when we get to Black Ops 6, as far as the Zombies mode is concerned, that we're not stuck to just one meta weapon or two meta weapons to be using for Zombies to carry us through the rounds. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys, you know, content on testing out a whole ton of different weapons inside of Black Ops 6 to see how viable they are, you know, to use to complete an Easter egg, how viable they are to be used for getting you through the rounds and to the high rounds. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now here we are grabbing another bounty contract inside of Tier 3, which would end up being our last one. As you can see, we're down to 2.5 minutes to go in the match. And unfortunately, I was not able to get a Mega Abomination bounty contract today. But I mean, I wanted to show you this Mimic, because just look at how fast this Tier 3 bounty contract was handled. Like, this was just ridiculous. Go ahead, check this weapon out. We have the build at the end of the video, so let's work together down in the comment section to possibly make changes to the build I used in today's run, and make it more of a, you know, movement build. But definitely a viable option for us to be using for Zombies. This is truly an awesome LMG, and one of my favorites. Could be one of the best, if not the best LMGs inside of the game currently, I feel. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. Now, as we get to the end of the video here, this is going to be the build that I used in today's run, so you guys can see that on screen right now. And let's work together, like I said in the comments, if you want to make any changes to that for possibly movement speed or ADS or what have you. But let's work together in the comments section and make that happen. The camo on there, I think we all know, is the mark of the survivor. It is in your events and is unlocked by surviving all 5 waves inside of the brand new Unstable Rift for Season 4 Reloaded. And the blueprint that I'm running on there is the Blade Eater Black Cell. So I'll show you guys where to find that inside of your LMGs. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys in the next one.